Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest, most powerful ideas in all of science natural selection. It's this hidden force that has shaped literally every living thing you've ever seen. And by the end of this, I promise you'll see the world in a whole new way. So let's just dive right in with a question that seems simple but has a really deep answer. I mean, seriously, why do giraffes have those incredibly long necks? Or how can some insects look so much like a leaf that they just disappear? Well, believe it or not, the answer to both is the exact same thing. And that secret is a process called natural selection. It's the key to unlocking the puzzle of life's incredible, almost mind boggling variety. Everything from the tiniest microbe to the biggest blue whale. Okay, so what is it, really? At its heart, the idea is actually pretty simple. If an organism has a trait that gives it an edge in its environment, any advantage at all, it's more likely to survive, have babies, and pass that winning trait on. It's a numbers game, and nature is keeping score. So let's break that down. Think of it like this. Nature is constantly selecting which traits are helpful. The individuals with those traits tend to have more offspring, and this is the really important part. This isn't some overnight transformation. It's a slow, gradual process that unfolds over thousands or even millions of generations. And the person we have to thank for putting all these pieces together is the naturalist Charles Darwin. His work completely revolutionized biology by giving us the core framework for understanding how life changes and adapts. So, how does this whole process actually get going? What are the moving parts? Well, you can think of it like a recipe. There are four key ingredients that you absolutely have to have for natural selection to work. First up, you need variation. I mean, just look around. No two individuals are ever exactly alike, right? Second, you have overproduction. Organisms make way more offspring than can possibly survive to adulthood. That leads directly to ingredient number three, competition. Everyone's fighting for the same limited resources: food, water, a safe place to live. And all of that sets the stage for the final step, survival of the fittest. Now, hold on because this is super important. Fittest does not mean biggest or strongest or fastest. Not always. Think about it. A tiny insect that's perfectly camouflaged on a leaf is way more fit in its environment than a big, brightly colored one that a bird can spot from a mile away. Fitness is all about how well you fit into your specific surroundings. And the cool thing is, this isn't some dusty old theory you only find in textbooks. Nope. Natural selection is happening right now, all around us. The evidence is absolutely everywhere if you know where to look. So let's circle back to our original question. That giraffe's neck. How can we use those four ingredients we just talked about to finally make sense of it? Okay, picture a group of ancient giraffe ancestors. There was variation in their neck length. Some were a little shorter, some a little longer. The ones with slightly longer necks could reach higher branches, getting more food. That gave them a huge survival advantage. They were healthier, they lived longer, and crucially, they had more babies who inherited those slightly longer necks. Now just press fast forward for a few million years, and that tiny advantage, generation after generation, gives us the incredible animals we see today. All right, let's take a look at another amazing example, camouflage. I mean, how on earth does natural selection create an insect that looks exactly like a dead leaf? Well, it's actually a pretty brutal life or death story. In a population of insects, some, just by random chance, might have colors or patterns that blend in a little better. Those guys are less likely to get eaten. Since they survive longer, they have more chances to reproduce and pass on those camouflage genes. Over time, the ones that stand out get picked off, and the ones that blend in take over. It's that simple. And this isn't just about giraffes and insects from long ago. Natural selection is happening right now at incredible speeds, even inside our own bodies. And this example has massive implications for modern medicine. This is exactly why you hear so much about antibiotic resistance. When you take an antibiotic, it wipes out most of the bacteria causing an infection. But what if, just by pure luck, a few of those bacteria have a random mutation that makes them immune to the drug? Well, they survive. And then they multiply like crazy. Pretty soon you're left with a whole new population of superbugs that the drug can't touch. It's a really powerful and kind of scary example of natural selection happening in hyperspeed. Now, to really get a grip on this idea, it's just as important to understand what natural selection is not. There are a couple of really common myths that we need to bust right now. Okay, first, and this is the big one, organisms don't try to evolve. A giraffe can't just wish for a longer neck and start stretching. The variations, the different traits, are totally random. It's the selection of those traits by the environment that isn't random. Second, big changes don't happen to one individual. An individual can't evolve. Populations evolve, and they do it slowly, over many, many generations.
So we've covered a lot of ground. What's the big picture here? What's the main thing you should walk away with?
At the end of the day, it's this. Natural selection is the main engine that explains how species change over time. It relentlessly favors any trait, big or small, that helps an organism survive and have kids. It's all driven by the simple facts of life, variation and competition. And as we've seen, the proof is literally everywhere you look. And that, to me, is the most incredible part. From this one simple, elegant rule, you get all the amazing, weird, and beautiful diversity of life on this planet. It's just mind-blowing. So the next time you see a bird soaring through the sky or just a weed pushing up through the sidewalk, you'll know the secret. You'll be looking at the engine of evolution at work.